Record. Okay, now we are recording. So after this class, I will post this online. For previous semesters, typically I posted on YouTube. So you can, on YouTube, you can search my name and you can find this. You are free to watch it at any time. So, and that's duration calculation. After that, as I mentioned, I will talk about resource allocation and the resource leveling topic. Then we will focusing on the cash, the money calculation, cash flow calculation, lazy S-curve. And then it's a monitoring and control. Monitoring control is handling the problem like, are we ahead of schedule? Are we behind schedule? Is that we already over budget or we are still under budget? So we want to tell this type of question. For example, I have 4 activities. I scheduled activity A, but at this time, I didn't finish activity A. Instead, I finished activity B. Are we ahead of schedule or behind schedule? So we need a method to tell what's the condition, what's the status we have right now. So this is over here in this chapter, monitoring and control, how to tell ahead of schedule, behind schedule, over budget or under budget type of questions. And then it's a linear schedule. Linear scheduling is handling some special type of project, special type of projects such as road work or high-rise buildings. There's a lot of repetitive type of work. So we use that to use a linear scheduling to identify the working ratio, the working speed, basically. And then another important topic is the computer scheduling. We will use a Primavera software during the lifetime. I will assign several live assignments for you to complete. TA will help you in the lab, and we do several assignments first. And for last few semesters, so after I assign 3 assignments, and then I leave one week blank, some student need an extra week to catch up everything. So I think I will do that, do the same thing for this semester. So I will assign the assignment, and then after 3 weeks, give you another extra week to catch up everything. And after 3 weeks, I will give a first grade of the Primavera assignment. And then after another 3, I give you another assignment, I give you another grade for this Primavera assignment. Okay, so this is Primavera. And the course objective. Course objectives, by the end of the course, I want you to learn the following concept. One is planning and scheduling. What's the difference between planning and scheduling? And know how to develop and how to analyze a network model using precedence diagram only. Precedence diagram and the network, and how to calculate the time. Early time, late time of a network logic model. And then understand and know how to calculate duration, resources, and the cost. And then know how to analyze the duration for each activity and duration for the whole project, and the resource allocation calculation, resource leveling calculation, and the cash flow calculation. And there is another analysis we will cover in chapter 7, which is the trade-off analysis for money. Okay, trade-off analysis for money. So that will be chapter 7. We will do that along this semester. And then it's know how to analyze and develop linear schedule for road or high-rise building construction, and know how to use Primavera to develop and learn schedule. So unfortunately today, your database is not settled yet. I emailed the computer assistant, but unfortunately by now, because at the beginning of semester, those technical support, they are typically very busy. So your Primavera account for everybody is not ready yet. But so therefore today, we don't have any lab assignment. Okay, so today no lab assignment, so no lab for today. So we're gonna start our lab, start next week. Next week, they promised me, your Primavera account will be ready this week, definitely. Okay, and then, so for the course outcome, it's a line for ABET number 1. You can read that by yourself. For the textbook, it's the course textbook is this one. The construction planning and scheduling, 4th edition by Hinz. Okay, so this book, yes, Brendan, that's correct. This textbook, there is a bookstore on Hickory Street, I think. I forgot the name. They sent me an email, said they have a cheaper version of this textbook in their bookstore. They said it's $30, also cheaper than the regular our university bookstore somewhere on campus. I think on Hickory Street. They said they sell for $60. But anyway, if you don't want to buy it, because I post my notes every week before class. So if you review my notes pretty well, and I post all the homework online as well. So if you don't want to buy it, that's okay, perfectly fine with me. But with that, it will be very helpful that you can have a good reference book in the future. If you can't remember anything, you can come back to check. So that's a very good book though. And that's a book. And then the course attendance requirement. Attendance is required. I will record attendance for the face-to-face lecture or the Zoom. I'm doing that right now. I'm mark your name over here. This is the attendance sheet I used. And so I will, based upon the participants over here, I record everybody over here. Today, I think everybody showed up. Right now it's 40 person. So I guess everybody showed up. So in the future, because the pandemic condition, the university require us to be more flexible on the attendance. So therefore, it's allowed if you have some condition, you're exposed to some virus, or you feel uncomfortable, you have some test positive or something, anything, or you're worried about you exposed to something at school. So you don't need to, you don't have to come to the face-to-face class. You can, if you don't come, then you need to go to my YouTube channel or Canvas, watch the recording, watch the class recording the lecture recording, and also put a line over there, text something over there on the comments or somewhere. So this way I know you watched it and you have come here. I can also write down your name over here on the attendance. So there are two ways to have your attendance recorded. One, attend the class, I record your name. Two, you watch my the class lecture recording video online, either YouTube or Canvas, and put some lines over there. I have watched it. Then that also works. Okay, that's for attendance. So that's attendance. For this class, totally we're gonna have 3 exams, 2 midterms and 1 final. 2 midterms and 1 final. The midterm exam will be in week 6 and week 11. Week 6 and week 11. This is week 2. This is week 2. Week 6 and week 11. Week 6 is February 21st. February 21st. Gonna be our first midterm exam. And week 11 is March 20. April 4th. April 4th will be our second midterm exam. Okay, so we have 2 midterm exams. Yeah, as I mentioned over here in the syllabus, each midterm exam gonna be 20% of your total grade, 20% of your total grade. So, then total of this 2 is 40% of your total grade of this semester. And the final exam, it's for this class, it's gonna be on Saturday, May 7th, Saturday, 8 a.m. So in 187 as well. So I will remind you later for that. Okay, but that's our scheduled exam time. I guess that's the first day of exam week. It's a Saturday. And then let's see the grading policy. Attendance, participation, and the professionalism. It's total is 10 points. So among this, attendance is 5 points. 5 points. So if you come to the class every time or watch the class video, you can do either or. You don't have to do both. So you come to class, you got the attendance point. You watch the video, you also get the attendance point. So you don't need to do both. So attendance will be 5 points. If you miss one class for no excuse, no reason, you didn't send me notice or something, then there's no punishment. If you miss two, no reason, you didn't send me any notice, then you didn't watch the video online either. So then I will deduct 1 point from this 5 points. If you miss 3 class for no reason, I deduct 2. 4 class, 3 points. 5 class, 4 points. If you miss 6 for no reason, no notice, then I deduct 5 points. You got 0 for attendance. So if you miss 7 class, then you got an F, because this semester only 14 weeks in addition to this final exam and pre-final week. You miss half of them, then that's an F grade. You have to retake this class. This is based upon you didn't come to class, I didn't record your name, or you didn't watch the online video either. So that's absolutely no reasons, absence. Okay, that's attendance. Participation. Typically, I have an unfinished class example, let you guys to finish. So first student to finish that, you have the chance to write down your answer on the blackboard or show your answer on Zoom. So this student, the first to finish the student, got this 5-point participation for the whole semester, for this whole semester. So each student only need to come once. However, because our class is 40 students, and also some students may not have chance to come up here. And then at the end of semester, I can give you an extra homework or something, so can make up this participation. Okay, that's a participation point. Professionalism, participation is also 5 points. Professionalism is something, if really something weird happened, you have negative impact on the class fluence, on the flow of the class, then probably I will use this. For last 14 years at UNT, I only deduct a professionalism twice, only twice, 2 single cases. One example is, for example, in one semester, for a structural design class, not this class, structural design class, we go out to test a bridge. One student didn't join his group to do any testing. He bring fishing tools and fishing over the river. So I deduct professionalism of him. So that's one single case. Okay, and the other single case is one student, after several warnings, he keep talking, each class, every class, he keep talking very loudly. A lot of students near him said they can't concentrate, they can't focusing on the class content at all. So after several warnings, still didn't work out. That's the second case. So that's for last 14 years, I have thousands of students. That's only 2 cases. I use this professionalism deduction point. So for other students, never happened. Typically, that's pretty well professionally. Okay, homework and Primavera assignment, as I mentioned, it also count 10% total for this grade of this class. We have a small final project. It depends. Let's see how the pandemic is going, because I want this to be a group project. But if pandemic is really bad, then probably I will cancel that, give everybody the 10 points. But let's assume we can work on group project together. So that will count 10 points. And final exam will be 30% of the total grade of this semester. Okay. Then is grade distribution, same as all other classes. More than 90 is A, and 80, 89 is B, 70, 79 is C, 60, 69 is D, and below 60 is an F. But typically, if you got, based upon my previous semester's experience, in previous semesters, so probably the quiz point is harder to get than the homework, attendance, participation. So those points are easier. So typically, if your average for the quiz is around 80, 87, 88 at this level, so you should be in the A range, based upon our previous experience. So average of the quiz, if it's 87, 88, and you give me all the homework, attendance are pretty good, got your participation point, and did the Primavera exercise, should be not guaranteed, but based upon previous experience, it should be in A range. Okay, so that's grading distribution. And briefly about the book, which chapter we're going to cover on which week. So this is week 2. We're going to work on the introduction and the bar chart and introduce the network model to you. Next week, week 3, hopefully we can go back face-to-face. I will let you know on Friday based upon some test results. So hopefully we can go back to face-to-face in F187. And next week, we're going to cover how to do the, internet connection is unstable. Can you still hear me? It said the internet is not very stable. So,
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Thanks. And next week, we're going to do precedence diagram calculation. Basically, I gave you each activity's duration. I want you to calculate, estimate what is the total project duration. So that's and the fourth week, I will talk about chapter 4 of this textbook, which is the duration calculation. This duration calculation means individual activities duration based upon our previous working experience, based upon my company's historical data, historic productivity data. Then we estimate what is the duration for the new coming project. This is the duration calculation I mean over here. And then we're going to use several weeks over here to talk about resource allocation and the resource leveling. For resource allocation over here, I will introduce 3 different methods. Okay, 3 different methods handle 2 different type of construction work. Okay, one is called a series method, one is called a parallel method, and one is called Brooks method. We introduce this 3 different methods for resource allocation to you. And then after that, we will use 1 week, week 10, to do chapter 7, which is cash flow analysis and other money-related, expenditure-related analysis. And then week 11 is quiz number 2. After that is the earned value topic, which is earned value is a method, is the name of a method. This method tells us the status of a project, which is help us to manage and control a project, which is what I mentioned. Are we ahead of schedule or behind schedule, under budget or over budget type of problem? And then week 13, we're going to do linear scheduling. And then week 14, if we have time, I will choose one advanced topic, typically I cover in graduate school, and introduce that to you. But this topic will not covered in the final exam. Probably I will introduce some probability-based analysis method to you, or arrow diagram analysis method to you. So it depends if we have this week available. Maybe if we are delayed somewhere along this semester, then this week I will use that to catch up the content. And if we have a project, if we have a group project, week 15, that week, we're going to use that to do presentations. And the final week is week 16. As I mentioned, it's in May 7th, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. That's a Saturday morning. Okay, that's our syllabus. Is there any questions about the arrangement of this class and about this semester, this class content? Any questions? No question. So, okay, then we can start working on our class content. So oh, there's somebody said something. Oh, right. That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. Volterman's bookstore. Yeah, that's correct. Now, they said they have probably a little bit cheaper version of the textbook. You can check out over there. Oh, there's still somebody in waiting room. No. Okay, let's start working on our class content. So if you think I talked too fast, just let me stop for a couple of minutes. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Do whatever needed. When is the final exam again? Final exam is on Saturday, May 7th. Saturday, May 7th. It's 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. It's a Saturday. Okay. Okay, very good. Very good. Then let's start our this class note. I already posted online on Canvas. You can download it or open it on your computer. So let me go over that together with you. So chapter 1 is a brief introduction of construction planning. What is construction planning? What is construction scheduling? And what is a bar chart? What is a bar chart? So let's see what the first important concept is. What is the what's the difference between planning and the scheduling? What is the difference between planning and the scheduling? So let's see what is a planning. Planning is the definition in the textbook showed us is developing the logic of how a project will be constructed. Basically, key concept is logic over here. So product planning involves the following elements, What task to be performed? What task to be performed? We call that activity. Each task, we call that a activity. And how the task will be performed. So this one involves the resource and the money. Resource, how the task will be performed. Labors, equipment, and the money. And who will perform the task? That's a labor. That's a labor. And in what and why in this sequence the task will be performed. This is the logic relationship. So over here, in conclusion, so planning include 4 important elements. 4 important elements. Number 1 is activity. Number 2 is resource. Number 3 is money. Number 4 is logic. Okay, activity, logic, resource, and money. 4 important concept element over here for planning. Let's see what is scheduling. So scheduling is just integrating the plan with a calendar or a time frame. So they only added one actual element, which is time. Okay, duration, time or duration. That's the difference between planning and scheduling. So the scheduling and the planning's difference is time. It's time. With time, we call that schedule. Without time, we call that plan. Okay. Planning and scheduling. Now let's see why we need to use schedules. Why do we need schedules? Okay, so schedules can help us reduce construction time. Have a good schedule, then some labor team may work on the construction side at the same time. If you have a good schedule, it definitely can save us time. Okay, and also you can place your order of material at the right time. Okay, so that can save you construction time as well. And so you can reduce cost. So time is money. So you reduce the time, then you reduce the overhead expenditure. So, and also if you place the order of material in time, probably you can get a better price material. So it can reduce its cost. And then it can provide a more continuous flow of work, that's for sure, because everybody, like the next one, give crews and the subcontracts a goal to work towards. Everybody know when they need to come in and when they have to finish and need to leave the construction site. So everybody have a goal. So this will guarantee a more continuous workflow. Okay, so if everybody have a target, have a goal, so this can increase their productivity as well. This can increase each subcontractors or crews productivity. Productivity is very important. Over here, we will use productivity in chapter 4 a lot to calculate the duration for each activity. Only with the duration of each activity, then we can calculate the starting and the finish time for each activity and what is the total project duration. So I will handle that in chapter 4. Okay. And also, if you have a good schedule, you can show you have experience on this before and you have detailed plan. So most of the time, it can improve your company's image, help you win the bid. Okay, help you win a bid. So, and also can help you to control time, cost, quality, and safety, and also manage material, labors, money, equipment, and the subcontractors. So how to do that? We will talk about that in chapter 10 and along with the Primavera assignment, Primavera exercise. You will see how we do that, use schedules. And then it can, the scheduling is force you to do a detailed thinking before construction start. And also this scheduling can, each group different group have the schedule in mind. So this can improve the communication efficiency. So that's why we need a schedule. Okay, why do we need a schedule? So this is what I already mentioned earlier. What is the 5 important element of schedule? As I mentioned, the planning have four elements. Scheduling adds a time over there. So they have five important elements for the schedule. They are activity, logic, duration, resource, and the cost. So 5 important elements over here: activity, logic, duration, resource, and the cost. What is activity? A single work step have a recognizable beginning and end. Recognizable beginning and end. So that is an activity. Logic. What is logic? Which tells us in what order activity should be accomplished. So for example, we have to buy concrete material before we pour concrete. We also need to get a rebar in place before we pour concrete. And we also need the formwork ready before we pour the concrete. So those tells us the logic relationship between activities. Okay, then it's duration. Duration is the time in which each activity is required to complete. So that's a time. Duration is to complete an activity. What time do you need? Activity duration are estimated based upon productivities of crews and the equipment. So basically, each activity's duration, how to calculate it based upon productivity. So that's a historical data of your own company. Then resource. So resource including labors, including equipment, and including materials. So how to count it? The unit is labor hours and equipment hours. Material is just the material. Some material use linear feet, some material use square feet, some is cubic yards. So different material unit is different. So you have learned it in cost estimating class. So that will not be a focus of this class. So we're gonna focus more on labor hours and the equipment hours over here. Labor hours and the equipment hours. Then cost, the money required to complete activities. Those are the 5 important elements. Okay, let's take a 10 minutes break, and 10:30. Let's come back here. We will keep working on this chapter 1 and chapter 2. Okay, 10 minutes break. Oh, you don't need to log off. You can just stay on. I will stay on as well. Okay, so let's keep our lecture, keep working on the lecture. So after it got the basic concept of 5 elements of scheduling, let's see popular use scheduling tools. So what scheduling tool are popularly used? So first, for very small project or very simple case, so there is a checklist or a to-do list. So I think a lot of people do checklist or to-do list, even for some routine work. I do checklist, to-do list for my everyday routine work. And the second one is a bar chart. Bar chart is a very popular used scheduling tool. It's still using by most construction companies combined with the network logic. By bar chart itself, it can show some duration time information very well. But for some logic relationship, the bar chart is missing that part. So typically for a large construction project, we use a bar chart plus the network logic. So in Primavera, it shows you both. The network logic calculation result will be a bar chart. Okay, there's a network diagram plus a bar chart. That's what Primavera provides you. Okay, so the third one, network logic. This is the main focus of this semester for this class. Network logic have several methods over here. One is critical path method, CPM, critical path method. You can use precedence diagram or arrow diagram, Okay, precedence diagram, the difference between these two methods is precedence diagram is activity on node, and arrow diagram is activity on arrow. So this is the main difference. So activity on node and activity on arrow. So for precedence diagram, arrows means logic relationship, logic line, logic relationship. And for the arrow diagram, node means time spot. It called event, time spot called event. So I will talk about that later. So the second network logic method tools is called linear schedule tool. And the third one is program evaluation and review technique. This is a probability-based method. We need to do probability statistic analysis for the PERT method. So the arrow diagram and the PERT, these two methods I will not cover in this class. If we have extra time, I can use 1 week to introduce that to you, but that will not be the tested content. Okay, so that's this is one example of checklist. For example, my project is to prepare concrete finishing equipment. For my company. So the popular use equipment, including shovels, concrete rakes, so like this, and vibratory screed, and float, hand float, and trowels, and adders, something knee pad or knee board, and curing compound, and the curing sprays. Those are very popularly used tools and materials. So I need to prepare. So after you get one, you can check it out. And this is a example of what checklists look like. And next, for to-do list, a lot of construction manager do to-do list. This is one example in our textbook. So this is one manager's to-do list for a single day. You can see there is some work related and there's some personal items. So over here for to-do list, you can also prioritize it. So for example, over here is listed activity A type of activities is something that have to be done. And B activities is something should be accomplished. And the C activities is could be done if the time allows. And D activities is a miracle happens, then we can finish it. So you can see, then we can rank it. So this way, we have priority when we choose which activity to do first. So this is prioritized to-do list. So this week, let's do a homework, prepare a to-do list of yourself, for yourself. What type of activity you need to accomplish for this work. I want you to prepare 15 to 20 activities. Think 15, 20 activities you want to finish for this whole week. For example, you need to take a CNET 3190 class today. And for example, somebody need to repair your car and drive to school, something like that. So I will open a window on Canvas. You can turn in there. The due time is next Monday. Okay, not necessary to be professional activities. Any activity you want to do for this week, that's okay. The only requirement is 15 to 20 activities. So you need to do. Okay, that's homework number 1. I will put a turn-in link on Canvas, then you can turn it in over there. Deadline is next Monday's class.
Okay, got it. Just 15 to 20 activities for the whole week. Got it.
For the whole week, yes, exactly.
Yeah,
yes.
got it.
Great. Okay. Now, so this is a checklist, to-do list. So why can't we use a checklist, to-do list for our construction project scheduling? There are several weaknesses, several problems. So first, the construction project typically has too many activities, and the logic relationship is very complicated. So many activities, very complicated logic relationship. So use checklist or to-do list, it's gonna be a mess. It's gonna be crisis after crisis after crisis. Okay, so checklist, to-do list only work for probably equipment preparation, some type material shopping, something like a small part of a construction product. And also sometimes, for example, it is end of the day already, you're still working on the activity A1, which suppose you should be able to finish it in 20 minutes, but you're still working on it. That's very, very common. So that's why to-do list, checklist, not popularly used for the construction scheduling document. We need a better method made it better, more professional, more technical, more theoretical type of method to do a better job than to-do list and checklist. That comes the bar chart. Bar chart. Okay. Well, bar chart, it's first developed in 1917 by Henry Gantt. So that's why bar chart, somebody call that Gantt chart, because Gantt first used it. So the following is an example of a general construction, a residential construction project. What is the Gantt chart look like? So this one, it can show, let's see, for the elements we need, what element it can show. So this one definitely can show us the activities of this project. So the activities include excavation, foundation, framing, and the finish interior. So those are the activities. The logic relationship, actually, it cannot show clearly the logic relationship. That's the weakness. That's the weakness of this bar chart. But over here, because this project is very simple, so we can guess the relationship is, logic relationship is, we need to finish the excavation, then we can do the foundation work. After we finish the foundation work, we can start framing. After the framing, then we can do interior finishing work. Okay, that's this is a logic relationship. It can show you duration, activity durations. For example, excavation, we need 3 weeks. Foundation, 4 weeks, 3 weeks also. Framing, 6 weeks. And the interior finishing is 5 weeks. It can show us the duration pretty well. That's a strong strength of bar chart. Show the time element very clearly. Time element can be shown very clearly by bar chart. And also for the time element, it can also show each activity's starting and finishing time, and also the whole project starting and finishing time very clearly. For example, for the excavation, we start at the 2nd week of January and finish at the end of January. So that's a starting and finishing time. Starting and finishing time. So you can show that very clearly. So using bar chart, it can also do some manage and control type of work. Some manage and control type of work. This is one example in your textbook. So this one, okay, some students do, is still coming. Okay, so this one, I marked a line over here. I marked a line. This is the current date. This is the current date. And the dark, the shaded part is the activity or section I have finished. This is current completion. Current completion is a shaded area over here. This is the current date. So based upon this information, are we ahead of schedule or are we behind schedule right now? Ahead of schedule or behind schedule right now, this condition, this status of the project.
Behind schedule.
Very good. It's behind schedule, behind schedule. my current date is over here. So we supposed to finish the shaded area supposed to be here. Okay, supposed to be here. Then we only finish part of it. So we are behind schedule for this one. So the bar chart can also show you a little bit, the management and control information. However, it cannot show complicated one, which has happened a lot in our construction project. For example, if I finished 1 week of finishing interior here, for example, in addition to those marked sections, this one I finished 1 week also. Then are we ahead of schedule or behind schedule? We don't know. Based upon this bar chart, we can't tell. We can't tell. If I finished over here, this part is still over here. This is what I finished for that part. If I finished 1 week of finished interior here, we can't say this is ahead of schedule or behind schedule, only based upon this bar chart. Okay, only based upon this bar chart, we can tell. We have to use the method, what I called I will teach in chapter 10, earned value. Use earned value concept. We have to involve the money expenditure needed for each activity. Then we can calculate it's we can tell it's ahead of schedule or behind schedule, under budget or over budget over there. We will talk about that in chapter 10. Okay, right now you just need to know for bar chart, it can show you a little bit about this monitoring and control type of thing. Let's see, in addition to what I mentioned, what other limitation use bar chart have. Okay, bar chart cannot do what? So let me allow the student in. Okay, so first of all, bar chart, as I showed you, bar chart cannot show the logic relationship clearly. It cannot show the interdependency among activities. Okay, and it cannot identify activities that are critical. Critical activity defined as this activity cannot be delayed. If you delay this activity, your whole project gonna be delayed. This is critical activities definition. It's critical because it cannot delay, because it's gonna impact on the final finish, final completion of the whole project. So by bar chart, we cannot see which activity is critical. We have to use network logic analysis to identify critical activity and a critical path. I will talk about that later. And use bar chart if you want to change, make some change. It's gonna be hard. Because you don't know the logic relationship. By bar chart, if you shift one activity, which other activity need to be shifted? By bar chart itself, it's hard to tell, very hard to tell. So bar chart doesn't show actual potential days an activity may take. This is called float. Next week, I will talk about how to calculate the float, which activity have float. And the float information is very important. We're gonna use a float a lot in chapter 6 when we do resource calculation and money calculation. Chapter 6, chapter 7, we use this float a lot. But anyway, over here, the bar chart cannot show float information over here. Okay, that's bar chart's limitation. That's why we need network logic. Okay, this is an example show you these limitations, this bar chart limitations. For example, I have this bar chart. I have this bar chart, have several activities. We don't know what that activity's name is. We just give letters to be general. So activity A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. So it didn't show independency by the bar chart itself. For example, F, when can F start? Is that depends on I finish B, I can start F, or I need to finish D, I can start, or I finish 50% of C, or 60% of C, I can start F. I don't know. By the bar chart itself, I can't tell. So interdependency information is missing over here. And two, critical activity. Which activity is critical? Critical, as I mentioned, is if I delay this activity, it's going to have impact on the completion date of the whole project. Okay, so by using bar chart itself, it's hard to identify critical activities over here. I don't know which one is critical. That's a problem, limitation of bar chart. And then if I want to change, make some change. For example, I delayed D for 1 week. I delayed D for 1 week. Which activity should I shift? Do I need to shift E? Or do I need to shift F? Or do I need to shift C? Which activity must be shifted? For example, E. If E is rely on C, if not, E is rely on D. If not, then I don't need to shift E. If it is, then I have to shift E. Because there's a missing interdependency relationship, I don't know if I change something, which other activity need to be changed. And the potential days I have. Can I delay D for 1 week or 2 weeks without impact on the completion date of this project? My bar chart itself cannot tell. So over here, this example, I just want to show you the limitation of bar chart. Bar chart cannot show everything we want to know. Even though bar chart shows very well the duration and time, start and finish time of each activity, start and finish time of the project, duration of each project, duration of the whole project, each activity and the whole project. So, but it has a lot of limitation. It cannot show a lot of things for us. So that's why we need a network logic. So this is the same product, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Same product, use precedence diagram to show. This is the precedence diagram of the same product I showed you by bar chart. So this one can show you very clearly what is the logic relationship. You can see after we finish activity A, then we are ready to start activity B, C, and D. And activity F is rely on B only. Activity F is rely on B only. So over here, activity F rely on B only. So this week, it just maybe because of some labor or subcontractor management problem, they want to leave 1 week opening over here. But after I finish B, I can immediately start F. Okay, and 80% of C is the base for the leftover 20% of C and G. That means finish 80% of C, you can already start activity G over here. So go back to one page. G is rely on 80% finish of activity C over here. Okay, and then is E is rely on D only. And after I finish F and C, I can start H. After F and C, I can start H over here. And then after H, G, and E, all of this finish, I can start activity I. So the I is rely on H, G, and E, the three. Finish all of them, I can start I. So you can see by combining these two, network logic and the bar chart, it can show you clearly the schedule of this product. This is why we need a precedence diagram. We need the network logic for help over here. Okay, now let's keep talking about bar chart. Over here, this bar chart, this example of bar chart, by using shaded area and some other areas and use small arrowhead over here, it can show you more information by using bar chart only. However, it's still not as good as the network logic. It's still not as good as network logic, but use some method, we can show more information. For example, over here, for this product, activities. So this bar chart can show very clearly activities. This is the activity list. Durations over here, this one need 2 days, this one need 4 days, this is 2 days, this is 6 days. It can show you clearly the duration. Logic relationship, again, is still not very clear. What is a logic relationship? Sometimes if you see Primavera in their bar chart, it can use small arrows, add small arrows between those activities, can show you better the logic relationship. But again, it's still not as good, as clear as the precedence diagram. Okay, so that's why right now the most popular use method is combined bar chart and network diagram. Combined bar chart and network diagram. That show you everything, all the information we need. Okay, and the logic relationship, start and finish time. As I mentioned, the bar chart is very clear to show the duration and the time information. And the critical path over here, this one shows you the critical path. The shaded, the dark colored activity over here is to show you what is the critical activities for this product. Okay, those are the critical activities. That means these activities cannot be delayed. If you delay any of them, the completion date gonna be delayed. You cannot finish in time. So those are the critical activities, and this path is called critical path. So critical path is a group of critical activities. Float. Over here, this one marks the float for you. For example, this guy have 2 days of float. This arrowhead over here demonstrate the float. This one have 2, this one have 1, this one have 1, this one have 2, this one have 5. What float means, I will talk about that later. Probably next week, when we do calculation about for it. So basically, float means this activity can be delayed this amount of date without impact the whole project's completion. So that's the definition of float. I will talk about that in detail next week. Next week, I will show you how to do the calculation of float. So again, this one cannot show the resource, cannot show the cost by bar chart. Okay, now without actually, by using the network logic, typically when we create a schedule for a project, we do the network logic first. Okay, we do network logic first, then translate it to bar chart. If you want start working on a bar chart, for example, this one is a small home project. So if I don't give you the network logic, you don't have the network logic to work on first. I only gave you the complete list of activity, ask you to, okay, put the bar chart, fill in the bar chart directly. It's gonna be hard. Give you 3 to 5 minutes, let you to try. This is not a homework or not a in-class exercise. I just want to give you a bar chart. Because everybody know a little bit about those activities for typical residential homes construction. Give you 3 minutes without tell you the logic relationship, without tell you the network logic, then just let you fill in this bar chart directly. It's gonna be a headache. You can try it to use 3 minutes. Give you 3 minutes, try it. You can print it out or you can mark on your computer. Either way is fine. Just think of the only way you can do is think about which activity should be due earlier, which one has to be do after I finish the other one. So that's the only thing you can think, you can use. So that will be complicated and very easy to mess up everything. So I don't know if today we can reach over there after I show you, give you this activity list. If we draw the network logic first, then translate to this bar chart, it will be much easier, clearer. Okay, I will show you either later today or next week, next class. This one is just for you hands-on first. Okay, so you can see without the help of network logic, or later I will teach you a method called IPA table. So to fill in this directly, it's hard. It's hard. So that's why we will do a systematic type of analysis procedure. So get the activity list first, and then order it, and then prepare an IPA table, and then draw the network diagram, and then do a calculation. Lastly, translate it into this bar chart. So this is the procedure. I will go over that later. Okay, so let's see. This is over here. This is a bar chart. Again, use another method over here, showed some actual information. This one, what information I showed over here is a comparison of what I scheduled, compare what actual what happened actually. Okay, so you can see over here, the gray color shows you my schedule. Those are all the scheduled date. The red color shows you what actually happened. Okay, so for example, this one I scheduled on day 1, but for some reason, I worked on it on day 2. So this one, I scheduled it over here on day 10 to 15. Actually, I worked on day 12 to 17. Okay, this is comparison of what happened versus what's scheduled versus actual. So you can see I delayed 2 days. You can see this is the finishing time. I use 16 days. Actually, I used, I scheduled 15 days, but actually I used 17 days. I delayed 2 days. Where this 2 days is come from? First, I started 1 day late over here. So suppose to start on day 1, but for some reason, that day may be raining or something, I start 1 day late. I lost 1 day. So totally I lost 2 days. Then compare everything over here. You can see the excavation I scheduled for a single day. Actually, it took me 2 days. Took me 2 days over here. That's another day. I lost another day over here. So compare with the original schedule, this is why I'm delayed for 2 days. 1 day is at the beginning, I started late. The other is I use 2 days for this excavation work. Others are all same. That's why I delayed 2 days over here. So bar chart can use to do the control and monitoring, as I mentioned, if we add more information over here. But this one is popularly used. Use actually happened and what is the original scheduled. Use this method very clearly. You can find for each activity what's the difference. Okay, this is what Primavera used as well. This is the method Primavera used. Primavera can show you parallelly what is scheduled, what is actually happened. Okay, I will show you later when we do the lab, show you how to do this, how to show this type of information in Primavera. Okay, so this is show you some Primavera shows. This is Primavera on the left. Primavera show you the activity list, and there's a duration. You have a original scheduled duration. You can add a line over here for actual happened. actual duration happened. And this is show you the bar chart. This is a bar chart over here. Okay, this is Primavera, how Primavera gonna show you. So start from next week. I will assign you some Primavera assignment, start working on. Okay, next week. This week, because of the computer assistant, haven't got this your account ready yet. So I apologize. This week we don't have anything to do for the lab yet. They promised me everything will be ready this week. And so next Monday, we definitely can start working on the assignment of Primavera. Okay, so this is Primavera. So Primavera, talk about Primavera. Primavera use a WBS system to do the input, When you input all the activities, activity durations, resources needed for each activity, it use a WBS input system. What is WBS? Which is a work breakdown system, work breakdown structures. So what that means, this is an example over here for a storage facility construction project. If we don't use work breakdown structure, then it's very easy to miss some activities. There's a lot of activities showing over here on the plans, on the elevation view, and on the section view. There's a lot of work. So how to get it complete, include all the activities we want. So we use this work breakdown structure. We can, this whole project, we can subdivide that to some WBS. Those site work, those site security work, structure work, those are called WBS. Those are activities. So you can see each WBS include several activities. Each WBS, this exterior structure, interior structure, those are WBS. So this one have 4 WBS: site work, site security work, exterior structure work, interior structure work, 4 different WBS. And this WBS site work, including those activities, the site drainage, grading, paving, landscaping. And for this site security, we have fencing, security lights, security gates. And for exterior structure, include slab on grade, walls, joist, which is the small beams, and roof and doors. And for exterior structure work, electrical, finishes, and ceilings. So this way, it's easier to handle those. And also in Primavera, not only you can summarize for each activities, all the information, resource duration, it can summarize all the each WBS. So this 4, for example, I want the site works summary. It can summarize all the resources, duration, and money related to all this WBS, all these 4 activities. It can summarize that for you. So basically, this is the structure, substructure, the Primavera used when do input and when do analysis. I will show you when we'll actually do that in Primavera. Okay, I will provide you WBS and also activity. You type in in Primavera, input in Primavera, and let Primavera do calculation analysis for you. Okay, now, so let's see what Primavera did. You can't see this, but this is the calculation Primavera will do for you. Okay, so this is This is an example over here. So I want to calculate, for example, this activity, greeting activity. I know the duration is 2 days. And I know the resource needed is 2 operators and two labors. 2 regular labors, 2 operators need 2 days. I want to calculate what is the total labor hours needed, including this operator, including this labor. What is the total labor hours needed? So how to do this calculation? Let me show you. Use my okay. So the calculation will be for this example 1-7. For the example 1-7, so I know duration is 2 days. Duration is 2 days. And then I have 2 operators and have 2 regular labors. So this problem wants me to calculate what is the total labor hours. What is the total labor hours over here? So the labor hours is a resource. Labor hours is equal to, we have 2 operators, use 2 days. If it's not specifically specified, then each day is 8 hours working day, plus 2 regular labors times 2 days times 8 hours. So the total, it will give us 64 labor hours. That's the total resource needed. If we want to know the operator's labor hours, or we want to know the labor's labor hours, we can separate that calculation. 32 here, 32 here. So 32 operators' labor hours, 32 labor's labor hours. So you can ask Primavera to calculate anything for you, for any activity, for any, to summarize any WBS as well. Okay, then it's already time. Okay, I will wrap this up for the money calculation next Monday. Next Monday we start with this unfinished example. Okay, that's it for today. So I got all the attendance recorded. Right now, I think I missed Sabashiri Ahakari and John Apodeka and Alejandro Coronado and Scott Whisker and Bertin Yang. Those students I didn't see on the participant list. So if you know those guys, let them go to YouTube to watch the class recording and left a message over there so I can record their attendance. Okay, that's it for today. See you guys next Monday. Friday, I will let you know. Next Monday, we will do face-to-face. We will turn back to face-to-face, or we still need 1 week of Zoom. Okay, Friday, I will definitely make the announcement on Canvas. See you guys next week. Thank you.
Yep. See you next week, Dr. Honk.
See ya.